Hey everyone, Julian here. Today I'm going to show you how to make these crazy, distorted, industrial techno kicks, ORGIE, RAXELLER style. As usual, you can get this full template with these 5 different kicks, all with different processing and kind of giving you a really great template with a bunch of different kicks to work with. Plus the audio, it's available at the top of the description on my website. For just $5, you get this really great template. It's a crazy steal. Get this while it lasts. Links at the top of the description. Thanks for the support, everybody. Every little bit helps. Plus, this is going to help you make the best tracks of your life. I promise if you grab this, it will. Thanks for the support, everybody, and let's dive into the video. Alright, so I'm going to be showing you a few different methods to doing this. So the first kick we're going to be talking about sounds like this. So what's going on here is we're starting with just a main kick. I'll turn off all the group processing so you can see it's already just like a nice, very fat kick. And then what we're doing on top of that is we've got this high layer where we're taking that same kick and we're high passing it inside of the simpler here, right? So it sounds like this. And then we're distorting it, and we're distorting it pretty heavy because with these kicks, you know, a big part of it is the fact that it has all that punch, but then there's the insane, like, push past the point of no return distortion. So you really got to be willing to just like over distort that. And then we're high passing it at the end. So you want to start with those. Just get a solid kick and get a nice punch layer on top of it. So then we're actually doing a little bit more punch here. So this is like a 909 kick, which we're actually low passing, high passing, and then boosting like the mids and highs, and then distorting that. So you see how we're really pushing this like to just have this insane attack, but I'm not worrying about rumble or anything at this point. Like, this is the order in which I would make this. So then we have our main rumble. And the way that we're making this is with that same 909 kick I just showed you. It's a nice long sample. Right, you can hear that has like a ton of tail in it if I turn it up. It's not just like a short 909, it's long. And then we're saturating it with the Ableton saturator, which is a great way to just like, you know, really just get that like destroyed kind of distortion, right? And the secret to this is the wave shaper. We're setting it like this so you can see you're really pushing this thing. It's almost like FM or something like that. And then I'm using this auto pan here to make it bounce off of our main kick. Right? Almost like a side chain, but you can control it a little bit more because you can shape it like this. And then the last layer is we have this, which is the same kick. You can see it's that same 909, pretty similar saturator settings as well. But this one is being reverbed. And then we're low passing it a little, you can see, to just make it a bit deeper so it kind of fits over that other one and just add some more dissonance. And then we've got the same auto pen and then a high pass at the end because we don't want this to have low end. And then there's the group processing, which takes it from this to this. So you can see this is the last thing you really need to push it. And I think this is really important with these kicks. We could talk about layers all day, but I think if you just make the layers and don't process them as a group, it doesn't ever really fully get there. Because that's part of what you're hearing with these kicks. You're obviously hearing these crazy layers, you know, the very nice punchy hard techno kick with the high layers, and the rumble that's like the crazy wave-shaped 909 and all that. But when you put them all together, and particularly when you put them all together and filter them and then distort them together, it really glues it and makes it like one kick, right? So the secret to this really is the distortion, but also the filtering into the distortion I think is really important. And I'll show you that. So here is like with the filtering, without. See, that just kind of lifts it. You know, it cuts out those like really nasty subs. There's still a bit of sub going on, and this doesn't cut everything out, but it cuts out like a lot of it to kind of make room so that the distortion can hit better. And also, something I really noticed that's important is this like low mid cut. You'll see this across a lot of these kicks in this video. Is cutting those low mids is gonna give you that like, you know, very kind of like futuristic, clean, tight sound. So you want to make sure you do that. And then also you can boost a little bit up here even into the distortion. Right? And then it's the distortion. Now you can see there's actually not that much if you look at it, because this is only at 22%. This one's only at 3.9%. So you're not actually hearing that much of these. If I just turn them off and turn them on one by one, it's just like subtle layers. You can see the pedal only does like a little bit, but it's those little subtle things that are going to glue these together without it being too much. Because if you just put it all the way up, you know, it's not really going to have punch anymore. And this keeps the volumes good too. And then the last thing here is we're doing one more sub cut with this EQ8 at the end. Here's without that. With it, see how it just kind of lifts it and makes it a bit more airy. This is also going to be way better for your track, not just for making the kick, but when it comes time to master the track, this is going to make that a lot cleaner. So that's one kick in the style. Then we have this one, which is a bit more subdued, but you can see, so I'll turn the group processing off and we'll just go layer by layer. So we're starting with just a nice punchy kick once again. And you notice, even if these samples, obviously if the kicks end up getting distorted and really pushed at the end, we're still trying to really start with the best possible samples. Then we've got this nice crunchy layer. So again, the same thing, just like a really, really pushed top layer. This one's getting band passed. And then it's got a really short reverb, actually. That's kind of like the secret to a lot of these, into this distortion. So it's not just the distorted kick, it's that like, how that's adding a little resonance with the reverb, but it's so short, like without it. See how when I turn it on, it just gives it that extra kind of like push on top of the kick. So we've got that. And then yeah, the amp here's without. With it, so it really gives you that extra push, and then we're high passing that. And then we have the rumble. And so this one's made with the stretch rumble technique. We're taking that original kick, stretching it out a bit, and low passing it, right? Some reverb, which is a bit shorter, and then amp. And I find with these kicks, you really need to use a short reverb on the rumble. And then an auto pan to make it bounce off the other kicks. And then on the group, we got a bit of drum bus. A sub cut, which is important if you're trying to make these more like juicy kind of kicks like this. I think if you leave too much sub in, you don't really get that nice texture you want. And then just converting it to mono. So that was a simple one. Now let's look at this one, which is a bit crazier with just two elements. So this one we're doing just a nice punchy kick, but what we're doing, so we're starting with this sample that I made. Saturating it with the wave shaper on the main kick. So this is what you can do in a lot of these tracks, is, really pushing that main kick layer. And don't be afraid to do that because it is super hard techno. Like, it's cool to really push that. You don't need to worry about keeping it super clean, like if you're doing peak time or something like that. Cutting out the lows in this kick because you don't actually really want that. Doing that same kind of low mid-range cut I was talking about. And then we're boosting the high mids to make it punch more. Then we got the rumble. So it's the same kick going into a hybrid reverb. And we're low passing the kick a little too. We're cutting the sub into this distortion because it's heavy. Right, and you can hear it's really giving it that nice full distortion. Low passing, another sub cut because the amp can add it. And then the auto pan to make it bounce off the kick. Then on the group here, we got this EQ8. And you can see that gets rid of a lot of like whoop in the kick because it's cutting out the sub, and then it's also cutting out a bit of that low mid-range. We got an amp blended, which you can see is perfect for gluing these layers together because, again, a big part of this sound is not just like a distorted rumble and a distorted kick, but the fact that the distorted rumble and distorted kick are glued so well together. And this is really how you're going to do that. And then a limiter at the end actually takes it from this to this. It can really help you push this and kind of glue these as well. And then I'll show you one more kick here. So then we got this guy. Alright, and this one's a little bit more complex. So without the group processing, we got this. It's starting with this nice punchy kick. And we've got a top layer which is distorted quite a bit. You can see we're using saturator again with this bass frequency. And then we're high passing after that and into it a little. So it really allows you to just push the punch of the kick further. Okay, then we've got a nice rumble. This is with the stretch kick method where you stretch out the kick and you get this like long bass wave. Right, and then we're low passing that into a short reverb. Again, like I said, you want it to be short for this style. Distorting it heavily with amp. And then a little auto pim. And then we have this layer. So, what's happening with this layer is actually not that complicated, but you can see this adds a great movement to the rumble. So we've got this kick, we're low passing it a little, we got an eighth note delay going dun 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 dun. A little bit of reverb as well, short still, because you don't want it to get too messy, so you can still hear those delays. Amp. So that's how you get the, nice industrial thing. You want to high pass this a little, so then you get in the way of the rumble. A little low pass too, because you don't actually want that much high end. Auto pan to make it bounce off the kick. And then if you put that with the rumble, see, it'll just add a great layer to that. And then for the group processing, so it goes from this to this. So what we're doing, we got an EQ here. We're cutting out that low mid-range only on this one. So you can see that's really important. It'll really help these kicks sound better and less messy and just closer to that aesthetic sonically that you're going for. A bit of amp, so here's without. With obviously gives that extra grind and industrial texture, even though it's only at 10%. You don't really need that much, right? We're doing a sub cut after that, and then the limiter, which is a great way to glue all these layers together. It goes from this to this, just pushes it all together. And it's really something where it's if it sounds good, it is good. Don't be afraid to use the limiter on your kick. Obviously, a lot of people would say not to do that if it's going to make it sound terrible and really messy. But in this case, we're using our ears. We're making sure it still sounds good. It still has dynamics and all that. But it's just going to make the whole thing smack and be glued together. And yeah. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this distorted techno kicks template with all 5 of these kick templates fully processed and everything, so you can go and work with them and make your own tracks like this in the style. Plus, you get the individual kicks as audio as well. So it's a great value for just $5. This is something you can really use to take your industrial tracks to the next level. I promise if you guys grab this, you won't be disappointed. You're going to make better tracks today. This is going to really help you guys out. Plus, it helps me out a little. I don't make a whole lot off of these videos, but with these sample packs and templates, I'm able to keep going and keep bringing you guys new videos like this that aren't out there every single day. So support your boy, support yourself, making the best tracks of your life. I promise this will really help you out. Thanks for the support, everybody. Also, check out my lessons, track finishing, and ghost production. Link for that is at the top of the description as well. I look forward to helping you guys out. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.